Hello and welcome back. In the previous video, we gained some experience in solving basic time value of money or TVM questions. If you want to revise your TVM concepts or if you haven't watched our previous TVM video, you can watch our TVM calculation video by clicking on the link shown on your screen. In this video, we will talk about the cash flow calculations. Cash flow can be even or uneven. That is, you could be getting the same cash flow every period or irregular cash flows in different periods. Even cash flows are solved similar to the basic TVM calculations. Let's see an example. Example 1. Let's say we want to find out the present value of an investment that pays $1,000 annually at the end of every year for the next 3 years. The rate of interest is 10%. Let's draw a timeline. In this example, we have multiple cash flows starting from the end of year 1. Please note that in these type of calculations, end of a period is same as the beginning of the next period. For example, end of year 1 is same as beginning of year 2. Now, for this example, PMT is 1000, future value is 0 as we want to find the present value of the entire stream of payments. N is 3, I by Y is 10, and we need to find out PV, that is present value. So we will enter FV as 0, PMT as 1000, N as 3, and I by Y as 10. Then we will press compute PV to get the present value as $2,486.85. Remember, the positive or negative sign signifies if the cash flow is an inflow or an outflow. In this example, if you made an initial investment of $2,486.85, you will get $1,000 every year for 3 years. However, if you borrowed $2,486.85 today, you will have to pay $1,000 every year for 3 years. If you have any issues solving this, watch this video.
Example 1. In this example, we are asked to find out the present value of a series of even cash flows. Before we solve any TVM questions, it is imperative that we clear the existing values in the TVM registers. To do this, we will press the second Clear TVM key. Now, for this problem, we can enter PMT as 1000, FV or the future value is 0, N as 3, and I by Y as 10. And as we are asked to compute PV or the present value, we'll press compute PV to get $2,486.85. This is our answer for this problem.
Example 2. Let's say we want to find out the future value of an investment that pays $1,000 annually at the end of every year for next 3 years. The rate of interest is 10%. Let's draw a timeline. Again, we have multiple even cash flows starting from the end of year 1. Now, for this example, PMT is 1000, PV is 0 as we want to find the future value of the entire stream of payments. N is 3 and I by Y is 10. We need to find out the future value or FV. So we will enter PV as 0, PMT as 1000, N as 3 and I by Y as 10. Then we will enter compute FV to get a value of negative $3,310. If you are having issues with this, watch this video.
Example 2. As mentioned in the previous example, we will clear the existing values in the TVM registers first. So we will press second, clear TVM. In this example, we are asked to find out the future value of a series of even cash flows. Here, PMT is 1000. Present value is 0, as we need to find out the future value. N is 3. I by Y is 10. And then we'll press compute future value to get a value of negative $3,310, which is the answer.
Next, let's talk about uneven cash flows. Uneven cash flows can be handled by either handling each cash flow separately or by using the cash flow keys on the BA2 Plus calculator. As we are handling variable cash flow amounts, don't forget to draw a timeline to better visualize the inflow and outflow of money. Also, remember to use different signs for inflow and outflow of cash. I recommend using positive sign for cash inflows and negative for cash outflows. If you follow a consistent sign system every time, chances of making a mistake are minimized. Let's look at some examples. Example 3. Let's say we want to find out the present value of this stream of uneven cash flow. The rate of interest is 10%. Let's draw a timeline. Please observe a few things here. There is no cash inflow or outflow at the beginning of this project. After first year, there is a cash outflow of $1,000, which in simple terms means that you are investing or spending $1,000. After this, the project starts making money and you earn $500 after year 2, $400 after year 3, and $300 after year 4. We are assuming the rate of return as 10%. To find the present value of this stream of cash flows, we will handle each cash flow separately. So, for cash flow 1 or CF1, FV is 1000, I by Y is 10, N is 1, and PMT is 0. We enter compute PV to get negative 909.09. For CF2, FV is 500, I by Y is 10, N is 2, and PMT is 0. We enter compute PV to get 413.22. For CF3, FV is 400, I by Y is 10, N is 3, and PMT is 0. We enter compute PV to get 300.53. For CF4, FV is 300, I by Y is 10, N is 4, and PMT is 0. We enter compute PV to get 204.9. So total present value is the sum of these present values, which comes out as 9.56. As the total PV is positive, this implies cash inflow is greater than cash outflow, and this is a profitable investment. Let's watch this video.
Example 3. In this example, we have a series of uneven cash flows. There are two ways to solve these problems. We can handle each cash flow separately, or we can use the cash flow keys on the BA2 Plus calculator. In this example, let's handle each cash flow separately. Now, we have to remember to clear the TVM registers after every step. So we will press second, clear TVM keys. We don't have any cash inflow or outflow at time 0. So CF0 is 0. Before we talk about CF1, let's talk about the sign of future value and present value. In this case, as we are not concerned with the money that is going in and the money coming out, we are only concerned with the present values. So we can ignore the sign coming out of these calculations. We will only remember if that money was going in as an investment or if we were getting that as a return. If that money was going in as an investment, the present value will be negative. If that money was coming out as a return, then the present value will be positive. Keeping these things in mind, let's do the calculation for CF1. For CF1, future value is 1000. So we will enter that. N is 1. I by Y is 10. And PMT is 0. So we compute the present value and we get $909.09. Now, because the initial $1,000 was an investment, it was an outflow, so this will be considered negative. So now let's clear the TVM registers again. For CF2, let's enter the future value as 500. I by Y as 10. N as 2. PMT as 0. We compute the present value. We get $413.22. And this will be considered positive as this is the money that we are gaining. Now we'll press the second clear TVM keys again. For CF3, future value is 400. So we'll enter that. I by Y is 10. N is 3. PMT is 0. We compute the present value. We get $300.52. This will be considered positive. We clear the TVM keys again. For CF4, future value is 300. I by Y is 10. N is 4. PMT is 0. We compute the present value. It comes out to be $204.9. This will be considered positive. So the total present value for this project will be minus 909.09 plus 413.22 plus 300.53 plus 204.9, which is 9.56. That's the net present value for this series of uneven cash flow. Now, since this net present value is positive, this is a profitable investment.
Example 4. Let's say we want to find out the future value of this stream of uneven cash flow. The rate of interest is 10%. Let's draw a timeline. I'm sure you have noticed that these cash flows are exactly the same as in example 3. The only difference is that we are now going to find out the future value at the end of 4th year. So, for cash flow 1 or CF1, PV is negative 1000, I by Y is 10, N is 3, and PMT is 0. When we compute FV, we get FV as negative 1331. N is 3 here as this cash flow occurs at the end of year 1 and we need to find FV at the end of 4th year. So there is a gap of 3 years between these two events. For CF2, PV is 500, I by Y is 10, N is 2, and PMT is 0. When we compute FV, we get FV as 605. For CF3, PV is 400, I by Y is 10, N is 1, and PMT is 0. When we compute FV, we get FV as 440. For CF4, FV is equal to PV is equal to 300. As this cash flow occurs at the end of the 4th year where we are finding the value. So total future value is the sum of these individual future values, which comes out to be 14. Again, as the total future value is positive, this implies cash inflow is greater than cash outflow, and this is a profitable investment. Remember, decision about profitability of any project should not be dependent upon the timing of analysis of cash flows. That is, as long as you analyze all the cash flows at the same time period, you will get the same decision about profitability of a project. Is there another way we could have found the future value of this project? Indeed, if you remember, FV is PV multiplied by 1 plus I by y to the power n. So here FV is equal to 9.56 multiplied by 1 plus 0.1 to the power 4, that is equal to 9.56 into 1.1 to the power 4, which comes out to be 14, same as the future value we calculated here. The point to note here is that there will be multiple ways to find out the value of a stream of cash flows at any particular time. Let's watch this video.
Example 4. This is the same series of uneven cash flows as in example 3, but here we are asked to calculate the future value. As we did in example 3, we will handle each cash flow separately here. And we have to remember to clear the TVM registers after every step, which is the second clear TVM keys. We don't have any cash inflow or outflow at time 0. For CF1, present value is 1000. I by y is 10, n is 3, and PMT is 0. So we compute the future value and we get negative $1,331. As we discussed in the last example, we have to be careful about the sign. This is a cash outflow. This is the money that we're investing. So this will be negative. And n is 3 here, as this cash flow occurs at the end of year 1. And we need to find future value at the end of 4th year. So there is a gap of 3 years between these two events. For CF2, we'll clear the TVM registers again. PV or present value is 500. I by y is 10. N is 2. PMT is 0. We compute the future value. We get $605. This will be positive. We will clear the TVM registers again. For CF3, present value is 400. I by y is 10. N is 1. And PMT is 0. We'll compute the future value. We get $440, which will be positive. For CF4, the future value will be equal to the present value, which will be equal to 300, as this cash flow occurs at the end of the 4th year, where we are finding the value. So total future value is negative 1,331 plus 605 plus 440 plus 300, which comes out to be 14. Again, as the total future value is positive, this implies cash inflow is greater than cash outflow, and this is a profitable investment. Now, there is one more way in which we could have arrived at the future value. As we have already calculated the present value in example 3, we could have used that to compute the future value. If you want to know how, let's see this. So we'll clear the TVM registers again. The present value, if you remember, was 9.56, so we enter that. N is 4, PMT is 0, I by y is 10, and we compute future value. And the magic is here. We get 13.99, which is approximately 14, which is our answer in this case.
Example 5. Now, we will solve example 3 again. But this time, we will use the cash flow keys on the BA2 Plus calculator. The uneven cash flow stream is shown in the picture below. The rate of interest is 10%. Let's draw a timeline. First of all, we need to clear the values stored in the cash flow keys, if any. To do this, press CF, then second key, and then CE/C key. As you should know by now, anytime we use a second key, we activate the secondary function of the keys in the BA2 plus calculator. So, when we press CF, second, and CE/C keys, we activate the clear work function which clears the cash flow registers. It is important to note that before doing any TVM or cash flow calculations, we should clear the TVM register and the cash flow registers respectively. Now, let's enter the cash flows. CFO is 0, CO1 is negative 1000, CO2 is 500, CO3 is 400, and CO4 is 300. We are told that I by Y is 10. We need to compute NPV, which comes out to be 9.56. I understand this might be new for some of you, so let's watch this video to see how we can solve this question using a BA2 plus calculator.
Example 5. In our final example, we will use the cash flow keys of the BA2 plus calculator to solve for the series of uneven cash flows given in example 3. First, we need to clear the cash flow registers. So we will press CF, second, clear work. Anytime you need to go back to the cash flow function, we can press the CF key. Now, we will start entering the cash flow values and their frequency. Please note that all our cash flows have a frequency of 1, as none of the cash flows occur for more than one period. If we had some cash flow for a number of periods, we could have used the number of period as the frequency of that cash flow. For this example, CF0 is 0. Now, if you need to go forward, you need to press the down key. So we'll press the down key. Now we need to enter C01, which is a negative 1000. So we write a negative 1000, press enter. So now C01 is a negative 1000. Press the down arrow key again. F01 is the frequency, which is 1. Press the down arrow key again. C02 is 500. So we enter 500. Press the down arrow key again. F02, our frequency 2 is 1. C03, we need to enter 400. So we'll enter 400. Press the down arrow key again. F03 is 1. Press the down arrow key again. C04 is 300. So we enter that. Press the down arrow key again. F04, our frequency is 1. Now we need to compute NPV. So we'll say compute net present value, but it will ask for I by Y. So we will enter 10. Then we'll press the down arrow key again, reach NPV and press compute. As you can see, you get the net value of 9.56, which is same as the previous example.
I'm sure you're now thinking if we can use the cash flow keys to get the future value of a series of uneven cash flows. Unfortunately, there is no key to do this. We need to find the present value and then utilize it to calculate future value. So, for the previous example, PV is 9.56, I by Y is 10, N is 4, and PMT is 0. We compute FV to get negative 13.99, approximately 14. This brings us to the end of this video on Introduction to Cash Flow Calculations for CFA Level 1 exam. As you can see, you can find out any missing information as long as we are provided with the rest of the values. The next step for you is to practice cash flow calculations as much as you can so that you can get comfortable with the ideas presented in this video. We will start discussing the time value of money learning outcome statements LOS for CFA level 1 in the next video. For more CFA tips, watch the videos in this channel. You will also find a number of CFA topics discussed on this channel in simple terms. If you like this video, please do not forget to hit like and subscribe for more. You can also visit our blog at the link shown.